Hello, it's Patricia of Alchemy Therapies and my emotional audit, and another in my weekly updates. And today I want to talk about this program behind me, the Emotional Audit Program. And I want to talk a little bit about how I set up the program and why, and the fact that it's going to start in, I think it's 4 weeks' time. It's a group program for emotional healing. And if you're interested, I'm going to go through a little bit of why I set it up and what it involves, so that if you're interested, you can take part. All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to screen share and I'm going to show you the emotional healing journey. Okay. So I conceived of the emotional audit journey as something that everyone could take part in. It's a group program. And so it allows people to share with each other their experience and, of course, get support for what is extremely common, which is a relational trauma of some kind through childhood experience. And believe it or not, most people have some. I occasionally meet people who have none, but it's a rare thing. It seems to be the vast majority have some form of emotional experience that wasn't able to be metabolized at the time, and it lingers on in your body as a sort of memory, implicit memory of threat, which changes your physiological response and makes you much more likely to have relationship difficulties, finance problems, health and well-being issues, mental health issues, anxiety, fatigue, pain, all sorts of things which come into your body as a result of this stress response, which isn't alleviated. It's constant. It's a toxic sort of stress response. And I wanted to create a 7-step program, because 7 is just a beautiful prime number and I love it. And what I wanted to do was find a name that kind of encapsulated what I'm doing. And the word audit came up because, if you want to know where you are at any point in your life, you need to do an audit, don't you? And so I felt, well, that's a great name. What can I do with that? And then I discovered that there were 5 letters. And so I wanted to make an introduction and a summary module, and then 5 modules in the middle of that follow this journey. So each letter of the word audit has a meaning related to the module. So the A is accepting. Knowing where you are is the absolute precursor to healing, all right? Making time for the healing journey, a pause in the daily busyness with which you distract yourself from your uncomfortable emotions that are bubbling just below the surface. And so knowing where you are and knowing that something has to change, maybe you feel hopeless or maybe you just feel something's off, is the starting point here. And then moving you to understand that your symptoms are past trauma stored in your body is also a vital component. You need to know that it's not your fault. It's nothing you are doing consciously to make your life not work. It's imprints of past experience that overwhelmed you, kind of creating this stress response, which forces you to react in ways that don't feel controllable, and they often undermine your attempts to live your best life. And then discovering how you can retrain your nervous system is obviously key, because just knowing why it happens isn't enough. You need to be able to do something differently. And so we train you to get out of fight and flight and into a more relaxed social connection. And then implementing is how we apply what you've learned in the tools and techniques which I start to introduce you to, which allow you to release yourself from past experience, which is playing out in your body as pain and dysfunction. Session 5 is the thrive, learning how to thrive, because many of you have been in survival mode all these years. And really what we need to turn you to is to rediscover joy, rediscover that your emotional needs can be met and that you can live a life that has meaning for you. How this actually works in practice, then, I want to just take you through the other one. which is here. And this is the program in detail. Okay, so we have a introductory overview where I introduce you to the basic things of how past experience is stored in the body and the mind as a sort of program that changes your stress response and therefore your physiology for life. Now, each module has a video of me teaching with slides, presentation. It's a proper presentation. It'll also have a downloadable summary overview. There will be quizzes and supplementary material as well. And in this one, it's basically introducing you to the subject and allowing you to assess where you are at this point in time. Number 2, accept, is where we learn that we're wounded and not broken. And this is really important to understand because wounds can heal, right? And so that concept is so key to understanding that you're not stuck. And also that it's not your fault, as I've already said, that these scripts are kind of pre-programmed as part of our survival responses. And so these combine to set your body onto a trajectory of chronic stress. And I've gathered together some really important information, which I've written in a document which I've called Hidden Trauma, which is all about these chronic stresses that we live with that are largely scripted from childhood experience. And we often are completely unaware that we're running a script. Our behaviors are so natural to us, we don't even question them. And then the third module, understand, is really showing you how common this kind of relational or small t trauma is, and that it's based on experiences that happen to you in childhood, what we call adverse childhood events. And these are pretty much the majority of people have some ACEs in their life. And the problem is they're not always the overt experiences of abuse and neglect, which is what you might imagine if I talk about trauma. But they're much more likely to be attachment traumas, which is in the relationship or bonding to parents, sometimes also siblings, and people in power over you, because as a child, your parents do have considerable power, whether they use it wisely or not. The childhood brain is immature. You're not actually mature until you're about 26, 27. Your brain starts to integrate, obviously, from around about the age of 7, your cortex starts to come online. But up until then, you're a downloading machine, and what your parents say and the way they behave towards you teaches you what you believe about yourself. You know, these are the messages of shame, if you like, that you will carry through in your life, throughout the whole of your life, unless they are addressed. And so here I'm looking about the experiences that you have not fully processed that overwhelmed you at the time. And so there's lots of information here, and you can even do your ACE score and find out what your adverse childhood experience score is. And I've added to the original 10 questions because they were very much geared towards the more severe end of the spectrum. And I wanted to show you that trauma can be anything that overwhelmed you. Session 4, the Discover, looks at how the body remembers and the fact that it basically does not forget what happened to you and overwhelmed you, because the timestamp doesn't really work in the limbic brain. And here I introduce you to all of that and what the limbic system is and how it connects to your autonomic nervous system, which controls your physiology. So you'll learn an awful lot. There is also a document called The Biology of Loss, and I'll also teach you about attachment. These modules are an hour video, but there is a lot of supplementary material which you're encouraged to read. Session 5, implement. Here we're looking at obviously moving you from understanding into making changes so that you can reorientate to your life and to your body. And here safety is key. Safety is key to healing, all right? And without it, without neurobiological safety, you won't be able to process what you were unable to process at the time. And so I work very hard to engender a sense of safety in the group, and also obviously when I work one-to-one with people. I bring all my skills to bear in encouraging you to feel connected and to feel safe, whether you want to contribute or not. Being present is enough. I want to really make that clear. You don't have to say anything, you don't have to contribute, but I do encourage everyone to attend the sessions. And I'm beginning at this point to introduce some simple home techniques as well. So I'm taking you through some of the things that you can do that are free or very low cost to help soothe your nervous system and reorientate it back to a sense of safety. And in session 6, we're really building on that and showing you how your brain can learn to thrive instead of just survive by taking on new pathways, by sort of accentuating new pathways which are related to that neurobiological safety. So learning resilience, in other words, resilience to emotional stress. And I'll be teaching you a little bit about brain neuroplasticity, which is what sounds like a very complex term, but it basically means the way that the brain adapts to its environment and changes. And in session 7, we bring it all together and we put it into practice. And I will teach you as much as I know about self-soothing. And you'll see how that works. And you'll have a chance to do that in the company of other people who've come through the program. And so by this stage, you'll feel hopefully held and supported and safe in that environment. And there is a bonus module as well at the end, which develops those themes even further and allows you to practice in, the sanctuary of your own home at your own pace. And so that's the emotional audit program. And it's starting on the 21st of September with the first video, which will be the introductory video to be released. And then the first Q&A is the following week. So if you want to find out, I'm going to post the links in the description below, and you can go and have a look and explore and sign up if you're ready to do so. There is no time like now. There will be another moment, maybe, but isn't it already enough that you've suffered? And I always say there's no time like now. If you're here, there's a reason. And I'd love to see you there. So please give it a read. If you want to sign up, please do. If you've got any questions, just get in contact. I do read my comments and I will get back to you. You can also contact me in the About section of my channel. You'll see my email is there and all my social media links as well. Take care, everybody. Have fun. Enjoy. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.